Welcome to Perfectville, your first place podcast for your last place Miami Dolphins, part of the BLEAV Network, presented by Fanduel. I am Sam Marcoux, and this is the Phinstant reaction show to Week 2, a loss to the New England Patriots at home opener in September, 33-27. The Dolphins drop to 0-2. The Patriots elevate to 1-1, and here we are heading into Week 3, a short week on the road, Thursday night, primetime in Buffalo, 2-0, the Buffalo Bills, staring at 0-3 in the face, staring at possibly a coaching regime, staring at possibly rebuilding yet again. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Perfectville, can it get much worse than what you are feeling right now today? Because, yes, the Miami Dolphins had a stinker week 1 against the Colts, 33-7. But you thought maybe they would come back and just redeem themselves a little bit, give you a little bit of hope, knowing that their coach's future is on the line, knowing that their GM's future is on the line, knowing that their jobs are on the line as well. And they played better. They certainly played better against New England at home than against the Colts on the road, but it wasn't enough. The defense is still giving up points just about every single drive. The offense still clunky, still trying to figure out how to get the play call in on time, still trying to figure out how to block correctly, still just trying to figure out how to use the talent and the weapons that they have on offense to the best of their abilities. And of course now, special teams giveth, special teams taketh away. We get a nice punt return from Malik Washington for a touchdown to take the lead, and it looks like we're going to take control of this game, only to kick it off and give it right back with a kickoff return by the Patriots on the ensuing play. It's a bummer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute bummer. It sucks to be a Miami Dolphins fan right now because you are 100% in limbo. I kind of half expected to see news today here on Monday that Mike McDaniel was let go. Of course, that's not the case. Instead, we get word salad version 426, where he says, in order to win the game, you need to not lose the game. You have to try to win the game, or whatever bullshit he just said into the microphone. Look, I'm tired of his act. Dolphins fans everywhere are tired of his act. They flew a banner over the stadium during the game saying, "Fire Greer, fire McDaniel." It's time. We're going to have to cut our losses. I understand why they're not doing it before this Bills game, but I believe after this Bills game, barring some sort of miracle victory, that the Miami Dolphins are going to part ways with Mike McDaniel. They'll name either Frank Smith or Anthony Weaver as their interim coach for the rest of the way. They'll use that sort of built-in sort of quasi-bye week of the weekend, since they're playing on Thursday night, to try to get right, try to implement whatever it is they got to implement to change from McDaniel to whoever the new interim coach is going to be, and go out, pull their swords out, and start fighting. Because I don't see how they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills. I went on Fanduel right before I hit record here, and the Bills are favored by 12.5 points. And I shit you not, I think that's conservative. I think the Bills are going to absolutely stomp the Miami Dolphins on Thursday night. I see no way, no path to victory for the Miami Dolphins. I see no way or no path to victory in terms of covering that 12.5 point spread. I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, take the Bills. Minus 12.5, take the over, because the Bills will get the over by themselves. It's over. I mean, I told you, if you listened to the shows last week, Mike McDaniel could not save his job by beating the Patriots, but he could lose his job. And I think the decision's been rendered. You gave up 33 points to a team that hasn't scored 30 points since October 16th, 2022. Almost 3 years of playing football, no 30 points. Come to Miami, 33 points. That is on the heels of losing to an Indianapolis Colts team that has not won week 1 since 2013. So I know Mike McDaniel wanted to change the narrative, and he's certainly doing it, but he's doing it the wrong way. He is proving everybody correct in terms of his critics, and he's proving all of his supporters foolish, because he is reversing all the good that has happened with this franchise since he first came on 4 years ago. The message no longer works. The players are tuning him out. Tua Tagovailoa is saying, I'm going to have a serious conversation with Mike McDaniel about how we get these plays in because the procedure isn't working. A little too late, Tua. Too a little, too a late. This should have happened after the first time that this was an issue 4 years ago. Shouldn't be happening year 4. Jonas Savaena was on roller skates, looking like Dallas Thomas out there. Granted, the defensive line for the Patriots pretty good. The defensive line for the Colts pretty good. What do you think's going to happen against the Bills? It's not going to get easier. This guy was supposed to be a starter. They traded up to number 37 overall to go get him. This was their guy. And so far, net results after 2 games, it's early. Not good. Not great. You've got the right-hand side of the line completely decimated. Now you've got 2 backups in there. They're getting false start penalties. They're getting holding penalties. It's a mess. That should be the tagline for the Miami Dolphins in 2025. Miami Dolphins, it's a mess. Before the season, I was looking at the schedule like most fans do, and I'm going, that's a win, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a win, that's a win. And I thought, look, if the Miami Dolphins are going to be competitive at all this season, they have to win the games that they are supposed to win. You're supposed to beat the Colts. You're supposed to beat the Patriots. But you didn't. And they weren't even close. I mean, the Patriots scored on every possession in the first half, just like the Colts did in the first game where they scored on every single possession. The only time they didn't, they took a kneel down at the end. That doesn't count. We'll take it because any victory is a victory right now, but that didn't count. So this Miami defense is an issue. Bradley Chubb got home, got a sack. Chop Robinson got home, got a sack, but not nearly enough pressure to mitigate the back end of that defense, which is bad. It is bad. I mean, you got players going off that I've never even heard of before. Granted, that second touchdown catch was a hell of a throw, hell of a catch. I don't know how you can defend that any better than what they did. But there are some obvious throws out there that the Miami Dolphins are just calling the wrong plays. I mean, why do you have Jalen Phillips dropping back into coverage on obvious passing downs? Douglas Durong brought that up against the Colts. Why do we have Bradley Chubb in coverage on obvious passing downs? You were paying Jalen Phillips. You were paying Bradley Chubb. You were paying Chop Robinson not to intercept the ball, but to hit the quarterback before he can throw the interception. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'll tell you what we're doing. We're doing everything we possibly can to go from a refresh to a rebuild. It's not going to be pretty. The rumors are out there again. We've already had to smack down the rumors after week 1 that Tyreek Hill was going to be traded. Now we're hearing reports that the Chiefs are interested in Tyreek Hill. Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't he want to go to the Chiefs or anywhere else but here? He's been nothing but problems for the Dolphins for the last 2 years, and he's got nothing but problems since he came to South Beach. It might be time to part ways. Devon Achane looked amazing again. That's about the only, sunny spot for this offense. Devon Achane, they're going to have to build the offense around him. They're going to have to pay him. I don't know how they're going to do that unless they start getting rid of some of these other contracts. But Devon Achane looked great. He looked brilliant. I thought he had a great game against the Patriots. Jalen Waddle looked fantastic like he always does against the Patriots. As I told you on Fanduel, plus 200 for an anytime touchdown. Cashed in on that. Thank you, Jalen Waddle. But the offense just isn't consistent enough. They're not as consistent as they should be. The defense is bad. I think the defense will get there. They'll figure it out, but it's going to be too little too late. It's going to be far too late to be able to come back and compete in 2025. By the time the defense starts to figure out who's doing what and where they're supposed to be, it'll be over. It'll be yet another wasted season for Miami Dolphins fans everywhere. A quarter of a century, no playoff wins. Haven't had a Super Bowl in over 50 years. Haven't been to a Super Bowl in 40. And when you really look at this, when you really look at the lineage of the Miami Dolphins, they're kind of a failed franchise. I mean, they have this, you talk about a franchise that has been spoiled rotten with the talent that they have had generation after generation, and to see such little output, Such little success, minimal success for everything that they've ever had, been given in terms of talent, football players, coaches. It's alarming. It's alarming. 60 some odd years of just futility. And that's the crazy thing. I look at this team. I'm biased, right? I'm a Dolphins fan. Have been my whole life. Talk to you guys multiple times a week about this team. Obviously, very frustrated. But I look at this team on paper, and you got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Devon Achane, you got Tua Tagovailoa, you've got Bradley Chubb, you've got Jalen Phillips, you've got talent on both sides of the ball. More talent than most teams, if I'm being honest. But they're not a good team. Great talent, great football players, not a good team. And I think that goes down to coaching. It goes down to culture. It goes down to the owner. It goes down to the GM. The front office stinks like rotten food. It is a rotting, festering corpse in that front office for your Miami Dolphins. And it isn't going to get fixed until they're all out of there. And I mean all of them. You need Stephen Ross to sell the team. You need Chris Grier to go do anything else other than be involved with the Miami Dolphins. And Mike McDaniel's got to go be an offensive assistant somewhere else. And oh, by the way, those assistant coaches, Anthony Weaver, the next in line, he's not giving himself any real good shots here. That defense has looked like garbage. One of the worst defenses I have ever seen. That includes the 1-15 year, by the way. That includes the tank for Tua year that Brian Flores inherited, by the way. This is a bad defense right now. So Anthony Weaver, I don't know if I even want him to be the interim coach if Mike McDaniel gets fired. I think I'd like Frank Smith. I'd like to see what Frank Smith can do with the handcuffs taken off of this offense with that mind and see what we can do. But the Miami Dolphins are not beating the allegations this year. No. The mask is off. The glasses are on. I see clearly. This team was snake bit coming into the season. We all saw it. We all tried to put the rose-colored glasses over the top and just say, well, maybe if people aren't injured, that offensive line will be okay. Maybe Mike McDaniel will figure out a way to, get the play in on time so that we can actually run all of our pre-snap motions and try to disguise what we're doing for that defense. Maybe. None of it has happened. A leopard doesn't change its spots. A tiger doesn't change its stripes. Mike McDaniel doesn't change his play calls, doesn't change his technique. More of the same. So there you have it. A team that Tua Tagovailoa has never lost to as a starting quarterback, he has now lost to. A team that Mike McDaniel dominated as the head coach, he got dominated. The Mike Vrabel curse for the Miami Dolphins lives. And the true curse are all of the fans, the citizens of Perfectville, the Dolphins, Dolphins Nation, whatever you call yourself. That's where the true curse is. Because we are saddled with this team that's going to be bad. And what are you going to do with draft picks? You're going to pick another quarterback? You're going to go offensive line again? Are you going to get rid of Tyreek and now you got to go get yourself a playmaker in the wide receiving room? What are they going to do? This is bad. This is purgatory. This is hell. Screw purgatory. This is hell. You got no money. You got no path to success. You're probably going to have a very limited amount of coaches that even want to come here, given the constraints financially and otherwise that this team has right now. Not a good time to be a part of the Miami Dolphins. They're not having fun as players. They're not having fun as coaches. Not having fun as fans. Not having fun as a GM. Not having fun as an owner. None of it. I mean, how do you lose when you've got Devon Achane out there doing everything that Devon Achane did? I mean, what was his yards per carry on that? It was like 7.5 in the first half of that game. I don't know. It probably fell down a little bit in the second half. But he's catching the ball. He's making people miss. He's making everyone miss. He's scoring touchdowns. He's breaking tackles left and right. I mean, the guy is just an absolute stud. And you're wasting it. And Jalen Waddle does what he always does against the New England Patriots, gets himself another touchdown. Tyreek Hill had over 100 yards receiving. everything that you could have possibly done on offense, you were doing, but the defense collapses again. Special teams collapses. And then when you need the offense to step up and actually make a play late in the game, because you have two, not one, but two opportunities to steal this game back, they fold. They fold like a cheap suit. It's stunning. 33-27. The over hit. Thank you, Fanduel. The over hit big time. I think it was 43.5. I told you to take the over. The over hit. I told you the Dolphins were going to score 28 points. They scored 27. I know my team. What I did not have were the New England Patriots scoring 33. I had them half of that. I think I had it 28-17 on the pregame show. Turned out to be 33-27. Probably should have been 35-27. They missed a couple of gimme extra points. It could have been worse. Actually, Tua threw another interception early in this game, but it was called back based on offsetting penalties. That's the only saving grace that he had. Just bad. I mean, Tua's rating was 115.5. So if you look at the stats, he looked good. 26 of 32, 315 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 5 sacks. They gobbled him up for 5 sacks in this game. We got Drake May for 3. He had a rating of 137 and a third. He outpointed, he outdueled, he outdid Tua Tagovailoa in this game. Devon Achane, 11 carries, 30 yards. It's not that good rushing. But you look at what he did the passing game, 8 receptions for 92 yards. I mean, the guy's just doing it. He's doing everything he possibly can. Malik Washington, good game from him, 3 carries, 23 yards. Also had that return, the punt return for a touchdown like we talked about. You got to get him more involved in the passing game somehow. I'd like to see him have more targets than Alec Ingold. I mean, what the fuck? Jalen Waddle, 5 receptions, 68 yards and a tug. Tyreek Hill, 6 receptions, 109. No touchdown, but he did his thing. But the offensive line wasn't good again. Tua wasn't great. He was good. He wasn't great. The defense, I mean, Jordan Brooks, decent game. 8 tackles, 4 of them solo, and 1 tackle for loss and a sack. Bradley Chubb, 5 tackles, 3 solo and a sack. Of course, Chop Robinson had the other one. But this defense hasn't almost a calendar year since they've actually forced a turnover. No interceptions, no fumbles. Hell, at this point, I would just say, hey, can you stop them so that they can punt the ball? That would be a victory for this defense. Because they're just giving up points, field goals, touchdowns, anything and everything. This defense is not helping this offense. The offense scored enough in this game, in my opinion, to win. Defense and special teams let them down. Time of possession wasn't close. I mean, it felt like the New England Patriots were on the field with their offense the entire first half. I mean, it's just that defense just gets worn out. I don't care if you're wearing white. I don't care if you're naked. At some point, that heat and humidity is going to get to you if you're just in that sun all the time. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? Miami Dolphins lose. They go to 0-2. They got the Buffalo Bills staring them in the face in just a couple of days from now. Like I said, on Fanduel, the Buffalo Bills are favored by 12.5 points. I feel like that might even get a little bit further apart as we get closer to game day. I don't know how you stop Josh Allen. I don't know how you stop James Cook. I don't know how you penetrate this defense. I just don't know how the Miami Dolphins are going to get it done. Traditionally speaking, they haven't. And I know they're breaking a lot of traditions in a bad way this year. I'd like to see them break it in a good way. That's the only way. That's the only way Mike McDaniel survives past week 3, in my opinion. Is you have to beat the Buffalo Bills. You can't lose to him gracefully. You can't lose to him in a battle. You certainly can't get blown out, which is probably what's going to happen. But you got to beat them. I'm going to try to figure out, we're going to untangle this mess throughout the week and try to figure out how the Miami Dolphins beat the Buffalo Bills on the road on Thursday night, prime time for the world to see. And that's going to be the key. Stephen Ross is not going to like watching his franchise get beat down again by the Buffalo Bills for everyone to see. So, lick your wounds, Dolph fans. Citizens of Perfectville, put some Band-Aids on. Get ready to go to the town square with your pitchforks and your knives out because we're getting close to the end. And we're getting close to the end of this Phinstant reaction show, part of the BLEAV Network, presented by Fanduel. Nobody's perfect. The Dolphins aren't perfect, certainly, except us. We're perfect. So on behalf of myself, Sam Marcoux, the entire BLEAV Network, presented by Fanduel, the only thing left to say for now is goodbye from Perfectville. Later.